What's up, everybody? I'm Joan.
And I'm Reilly.
And you're listening to
Anyways. So today, we have a very special guest that I brought on today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name's Liza Gonzalez. Everybody calls me Liza. I'm the president of the Dance Honor Society here at Sam Houston State. It's called shoutout Epsilon. We call it XTE for short.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so thanks, Liza, for coming on.
Of course.
So we just have a couple questions for you. So first off, what is XTE?
Okay, so basically this is an organization open to dance majors and minors that gives them opportunities to teach, create networks, create relationships within the community of Huntsville, Sam Houston, and within each other, so the dance majors and the minors. Mainly, we promote dance throughout the community, so we try to bring dance to those who wouldn't have dance in their lives if it wasn't for us, or for people giving it for free.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's
okay.
the gist.
So how long have you been a member of XTE?
So my freshman year is when I first heard about XTE, and I tried joining, and I didn't make the full points, so I didn't get invited to banquet.
Okay.
Funny side story.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was on Orange Pride at the time, so I didn't have much time to do all the community service events and to fulfill all my requirements. But all my friends were in it, so I was like, no, I have to do it. And I just loved the work that they were doing and the mission, so I did it again my sophomore year, and I fulfilled the points.
Yes.
So then that's when I really started becoming a lot more involved.
Okay. So would you say that, like, the community service of it drew you to want to be an XCE, or was it because, like, oh, my friends are in it, I want to be in it?
I think definitely at first it was more of I'm new to this school, college, environment thing, and I wanted to meet people, and I wanted to be involved, not just stick to my daily routine of going to class. And I wanted to have something else. I guess almost having more of a purpose. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Okay. So did you always see yourself becoming an officer?
I did. And I think that's just a thing that since high school I was officer of the drill team there. And I have naturally fallen into leadership positions. It's probably because I have this really like big character.
Yes.
And so yeah, and I don't know, I have this urge to want to make things better if I don't feel like they're meeting it's fulfilling its full potential. And I think that's something that XT was having an issue with. It used to be a really great program at Sam Houston. I can't remember when it started at Sam, but it's been going on for years now, and I heard a lot of stories from past alumni. They're like, oh, well, we used to do this and we used to do that, and nothing was happening. And so me and my friends, we were like, what is wrong with the organization now? And that's when we were like, well, if we don't do anything, then who's going to do something about it?
Yeah.
So that's when all my friends and I started to run for officers. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So is that why you decided to want to become president? Because, like, really wanted to just, like, see that change, really?
Yes. Well, of course, when you're in the head position, it's kind of easier to put in, like, your opinions. And but mostly just because I felt very passionate about the whole community outreach aspect of it. And that's something that throughout my time here at SAM has become really important to me. Because, as you know, as dance majors, we focus a lot on performance and growing as individuals and artists. And so I find it really nice in the community outreach that it's not a personal achievement. It's more for the people and not for myself. And I find more fulfillment in that than performing. And I've realized that as I've been here at SAM, that feels like my calling. And so then that's why it was like, I think I want to be president because this is something that gives me the goosies.
The goosies.
Cute.
You're gonna have to say that now more often. The goosies.
Okay, so what is your favorite part about being an XTE?
In general? There's just so many things.
Really?
Well, for me, like, it just really goes back to community.
Yeah.
And not just in the Huntsville community, like, when we do Scare on the Square and, like, getting to interact with all the little kids who come and do the little ball game toss. Like, that's adorable, and it's just, it takes me out of my everyday routine and reminds me that there's more, you know, and we're bringing joy to the community and others. Especially when we are teaching or giving free dance classes to young ones who would never do that because of either just income, like, prevents them from doing it, or their parents don't have time to put them in a studio, et cetera, et cetera. And just getting to see them experience dance for the first time and seeing their their face light up, and that's really, for me, that's like probably the best thing. But also just getting to be with all the dance majors in a setting other than technique class and rehearsals. Yeah.
Okay, so then what is your favorite XCU event that we have?
Okay.
That you got to take part of?
These are the difficult questions.
I
You know?
I know. Well, this year, I would have to say Project Sunshine.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you explain what that is?
Yes.
For the people
So,
listening.
Project Sunshine is another organization on campus who, I'm going to say deal with, but that's probably not the best word to use, deal with students with disabilities, whether that's being in the spectrum or Down syndrome. And so they provide a lot of outlets for them and activities for them. And so our junior rep, I'm sorry if you see this, Caroline Center, she was talking to the officers of Project Sunshine and had this idea of offering them adaptive dance classes. So we started building that partnership at the beginning of the year, and once we started getting into the classrooms and having these creative dance lessons and seeing how much they engaged with not just us but the movement, and seeing how their ability to grasp it and perform it and just be really open with us, like, I think that just really opened my eyes to a whole other side of, like, what dance can be and what it can do for a person, no matter who it is. Yeah, and I think just because that project was so beautiful, like, and all, like, the whole thing, I have to say that's my favorite.
Yeah, and they recently actually, because we had our Dances at 8 performance, they performed beforehand. It was Sunshine at 6. So they, like, did a couple of dances that they had been learning in class, and it was really cute. We got to see all the buddies dance, and they were just having a great time. It was so adorable.
Yeah.
So,
and Reilly got to dance for them, so.
Whatever, it's fine. So why do you think XCE is so important, like, or an organization like XCE is important to have in the community?
Yeah, well, I feel like I sound redundant, but
It's okay.
It's just, yeah, like, I'm definitely an advocate for dance and how important it is, especially at exposing it to children at a young age. I was actually reading this book last night called The Culture Code, and it talks about the connection between emotion and experience, and that's how we learn the best. And so it made me think about how that correlates with dance and how a lot of times in society people don't hold a high value to dance because it wasn't something they were exposed to at a young age, maybe, or it just wasn't put, like, not a lot of importance was put on to that art form. And so I was thinking about it, and you first need to work with like imprinting the value into the person. And so especially at a young age, that's like the prime time to do it.
Yeah.
So when we're giving these free dance classes to these youngins, not only are we giving them this fun hour class, but we're also putting in that value of, hey, like, this is important. And subconsciously, they're going to grow up and have a different view of what dance is and what it did for them, because they're going to resonate with that experience of, hey, I remember when I was little, I took dance classes and it was so much fun. And that can just change a person's perspective and like outlook on life. And I think that's just crazy, and that's what XCE does.
Yeah. So kind of like tagging on to that question. So like XCE is a dance, like what's it called? Oh gosh, why am I blanking?
Organization.
Yeah, dance organization, community outreach organization, and focus on primarily like reaching out to kind of like younger children and things like that. So how do you think XCE, like if you were younger, how do you think XCE would have impacted you as a child, and how do you think it affects you now, being older and being a part of like an executive position in the organization?
Well, putting myself in their shoes, if it was me, I mean, I was really lucky to have been able to start dance classes at 2, the age of 2. So I feel like I can't really relate too much to the audience members that we do classes with, only because most of them have never had class before. But if I were in their shoes and I was not able to take these classes, other than because this organization is providing it, I mean, I would say that it would maybe even lead me to where I am now. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, I don't know if this might make sense. So, like, if I hadn't been put into dance classes, and I would have gone to these free dance classes, I think I would have found that passion for dance there. Yeah. And then some way I would have ended up here. Yes.
Yes, the path would have lined up.
In some way. Yeah, but like, who knows if, you know, like those children would ever get to where I am now if they would have never gotten exposed to it. You know what I mean?
Maybe one of them will be future
to
XCE
be here.
president. Yeah, exactly. Hey, you
never know.
Exactly.
And second part, how does it affect me now, being a part of it? It's definitely just really changed, like, who I am as an artist, I feel, because at first when I came to SAM, I was very about becoming not just a better, like, technical dancer, but I wanted to be a professional performer, and that was my main goal. And that's what I felt I needed to achieve to feel successful, and to have that recognition. But then being in the organization and climbing up the ladder, and becoming more involved, I realized, like, that's all superficial, like, for me at least. To me, those achievements or perspectives on success was all superficial, and it started to take me deeper into, like, well, why am I doing what I'm doing, and what is what I'm doing for others? And so it's definitely changed who I am and where I'm going next.
Yes, I love that. Oh, that was so beautiful. Wow. So, you're a senior.
Yes.
So, as a senior, what are you hoping to see or continue to see in XCE for, like, the future generations, you know?
So, I mean, this was your first year here, right?
Yeah.
So, you didn't get to see XT before this year, which I think is crazy.
Wild.
But yeah, like, I feel like I've said this before, where we say how we've grown so much, you know, but it's the truth. Like, before this year, like XT, not that it didn't have anything, but it wasn't where it is today. And I feel like we've only scratched the surface. And last semester, the goal I had set for the officers was to build a community. So that was our main focus. Like, okay, we need to bring in more people. We need to recruit. We need to build a sense of real community, because before it was very, like, separated and there wasn't really that sense of family. And so then I wanted to focus on building that base. And so then this semester was all about relationships. So, okay, now we have a community. Well, how do we strengthen those relationships within that? And so now I just feel like we tried to do the most we could with the time we had, and try to do a bunch of, like, little startups, basically. And then now that I'm leaving, like, it's kind of sad, and it makes me anxious because I don't know what's going to happen, because I'm not going to be in control, or most of the officers are not going to be there. We're all graduating, except for three of them. But I fully trust in those who are going to come up and be the new officers, that they have seen what good we've done with all the projects, and I think they're just going to keep taking it to the next level and keep growing it off of that base that we've created. And that's really what I hope to see for XTE.
Okay.
Here at Sam.
Yeah. That's great. And so, our last XTE question, what does XTE mean to you?
What does it mean to me?
It's the hard ones. You had some great questions, not gonna lie. I wrote these in like 10 minutes. I feel really
They're
proud of
good.
myself.
When I first read them, I was like, whoa.
Thought-provoking questions. Let's have a conversation.
Yeah. Okay. I think for me it means You got me. I don't know, I think it's just something I have always thought was, well, it's kind of an insider, but bigger than us. Like, that's something that has always stuck with me. And I think that's what XE is for me. It's bigger than myself. Yeah. You know? I don't know, and I hope people see that as well. It's more than just an organization that you're taking a part in. It's little by little, you know? You start changing lives, and by that you start changing the world. I mean,
yes.
You know,
wow.
It's bigger than us.
Yeah. Making a difference.
Yeah.
One day at a time.
One dance step at a time.
Yes. And basically, 5, 6, 7, 8, pro it out of here.
There you go.
Okay, so now we did all the emotional questions.
Yeah.
Here's the fun ones. So, here we go. Cake or pie?
Now, this is a defining question. Okay?
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Okay, now I'm nervous because at first
important.
I was
Well, we'll see which ones you choose.
No. Okay. Pie? Okay.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. Next question. It's like how we did that right over each other. Like,
what flavor?
Pecan.
Okay, I respect that.
Wait. Do you know that it's kind of a controversy? They're like pecan.
It's pecan.
Right? Okay. Continuing.
Okay.
Next question.
Thank you. Next. Okay. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Okay. Fun times. Yes. I'm on board with that one.
Okay. Except Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Okay,
Wonder Woman and Batman are like.
Right. Okay.
we have that.
There. Yes, we love them. Are you ready for Endgame?
No.
Okay, neither am I.
I don't think any of us
I'm ready
are.
for the 3 hour and 10 minutes. Like, I'm prepared for that. I just not sure if I'm gonna leave it alive. You know?
Yeah.
Just cry my eyes out.
Bring 3 hours worth of tissue.
Yes. All the boxes of tissues. Oh, it's gonna be emotional.
Honestly, bro. Okay. Your favorite song or music genre?
So that just really depends on what I'm in the mood for, you know? But right now I'm super in love with John Mayer's song New Light. We danced to it in Modern. And it's just like so beautiful. Like, I don't know. Have you heard it?
I haven't.
It has a really nice guitar solo for like a second, and I'm upset because I wish it was longer. But in all honesty, I listened to the whole song just to hear that part. It's so good. Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have a song that's getting you through this week, Miss Reilly?
Do I? I've been listening to, I love High Hopes, but from Panic at the Disco.
Of course.
And then I've been listening to this other song. It's called One Man Army, and it's by the band Sleeping with Sirens. And the song is...
Whoa.
And the song...
Sixth grade.
It's off of their newer album, but the song is like... To me, it's kind of like about confidence. And it's basically saying... There's one lyric that says... you miss all the chances you don't take. Can't be afraid to make mistakes. And I just love that lyric because I feel like that applies to me, especially to me as like a dancer. You know, sometimes I can get kind of timid and not want to like take risks and like put myself out there because I'm like, you know, might sometimes be self-conscious of my ability, especially in comparison to like this big department full of like all these great dancers. But just, you know, having that, I was just like, yes, I love this. And so I just been listening to that a lot and just kind of like having that as my motivation.
Yeah.
At the moment. So yeah, that's my song. What about you, Joan?
This week has been a roller coaster of emotions and events. But I'd say thanks to stage movement, I'm going to pick a non-lyrical song this week. Yeah. We listened to a song called like Awaking from a Coma. And we listen, it's like a 10-minute long song, but we listened to it as we did this one movement piece in class. I don't know. I was just really into it. But it was like a full class movement piece, and we just did a bunch of other exercises. So we were all really connected, and we're like making all these shapes and stuff. I don't know. It was crazy. I kind of blacked out during it, I think. But the song was beautiful. So that's the one. I've already listened to it again today. Like, I'm really liking it right now.
Is it like kind of like classical, instrumental? What's the vibe?
I think it's just, there's a piano in it.
Okay.
So it's just instrumental, but it's like classical instruments. So it's like violins and pianos. There's like some drumming in it, but not too much that like takes away from the string instruments. Ooh, that sounded really philosophical.
Wow.
That could be
Come on,
good.
vocabulary.
Yeah.
That sounded great.
But yeah, that's it for this week.
Okay, so next one is, what are your favorite movies? Or what is your favorite movie?
Easy. Harry Potter.
Okay.
The whole thing.
One? Oh, the whole thing. Okay.
The whole thing.
All right.
But if we were going to choose one, Half-Blood Prince.
Okay. That's your favorite book too?
I don't know. Probably the first one because it's easier to read.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
That one's one of the shorter ones.
Yeah.
Out of all of them.
That is the shortest one, I'm pretty sure, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the rest just get bigger as it goes.
They just get really big.
Because the first two seem about the same size to me. But I didn't know you were a Harry Potter fan. That's wild.
Oh, yeah, girl. I have Reagan, Carly, and Abby. We have had Harry Potter marathons.
That's so cute.
Nice.
Yeah. We're actually going to play Harry Potter Seen It in the future. Well, we have it, the board game. We just haven't done it yet.
Dang, so you know the trivia.
Already.
You are a well-read woman. That was hard to Dang.
You should go back and listen to our episode about the SHSU Quidditch team if you like Harry Potter.
Okay, I'm going to do that. I want to go to a game, but...
You should definitely come see a Quidditch game. We have one on Saturday. I play Quidditch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm on the Quidditch A team.
She's a girl.
Yeah.
She's our Quidditch girl.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a great time.
Have that little connection. Cute. Any favorite books? Oh, well, Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
But right now I'm really into a lot of Hispanic, Mexican books, like anything like historical or even like House on Mango Street.
I'm ready one for English.
It's so good.
So
good.
You should, if you ever get the chance to see the play version of it.
Really?
I
Amazing.
did not know it was a play.
Me either.
It's so good because it's all led by, like, the main character is like the 7-year-old girl, and so she does all the monologues in it, and it's amazing. Oh my gosh, it brought tears to my eyes. It was so good.
Hopefully there's one on YouTube. I'm gonna watch it.
Bet. It's a good one.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Do you have a favorite childhood memory or college memory?
Mm.
Or both, honestly. I'd love to hear all the stories.
Oh my god.
She said,
all the appropriate stories.
Okay, let me see college, because that's more recent.
Gotta flip through the files.
Yeah, literally. Okay. I got one. It's kind of embarrassing, but I don't know.
That's okay.
You gotta laugh at yourself, you know?
If you don't listen to the last episode, you should have heard my stories, because I tell a couple.
So good.
It's kind of a mess.
I'm gonna check that one out, too. Okay, so, like I mentioned before, I was on Orange Pride my freshman year. And I got to go to Daytona for nationals, and we had this dance to Benny and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was going fine. And we go on finals mat, music starts, we start dancing, we're moving, it's going good, nailed that triple.
Yes.
My aerial's about to come up, and it was kind of, weird, I don't know, for me, it was an awkward position to go through.
Yeah.
Like, nailed it.
Okay.
Next thing you know,
oh no.
I just hear this voice saying, stop the music.
Uh-oh.
And my first reaction was like, am I hearing this, or like, am I going crazy? And so then I started slowing down, and I started looking around, and everyone else stopped. And, well, it's in this huge stadium, I think, and there's all these lights, and you just hear this guy saying, like, go back to the beginning, and I was like, what? We were all like, okay. And so then we go back to the beginning of the dance, we hit our pose, and then next thing you know, music started again. And so then, no questions asked, we just did it all over again. But this time, I fell on my aerial.
Oh,
it was terrible. I think it's somewhere on YouTube.
I'm gonna watch.
You have to watch that.
But yeah, it was really embarrassing, but now at least I'll always remember that.
At least the good one was first. People are like, well, at least she did it once.
Yeah,
so
nobody's gonna remember that.
You're like, oh,
and then we ended up, because at prelims we were in 3rd place, I think, and then for finals we ended up at 9th. But it was okay.
Can you still do it, Ariel?
Yeah, I can still do it.
Ooh, you have to teach me. I want to learn.
I mean, I'm not the best teacher.
Well,
you know how I learned? I went to the beach and I just kept trying to do it, and then I finally got it. But you know what? Don't do it, because if you get hurt, you're gonna blame it on me.
Okay.
You can.
I guess I can.
It's fine.
I'll try it in my backyard. Anyways.
Name drop.
I know. I was waiting for that. Okay. Favorite place to visit?
When I read this the first time, I thought my bed,
Yes.
because I mean,
keep it real.
We all have special loves for our beds.
yeah.
Or like, is there a place that you want to go visit? Like travel the world, anywhere, no budget, where you want to go?
No budget.
You like how I know your moves. Where would you go?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I've always wanted to go to like Australia.
Really?
I was literally thinking New Zealand in my head.
We'll be across the sea over there.
Hey.
But like, I would just have to like find a good spot, because I know Australia is like notorious for having like the world's most dangerous everything.
Literally.
I would need to like have a tour guide to know like where not to step, what animals do I need to avoid,
What not to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, where to stay, and like not have a spider crawling on the roof.
Yeah.
Oh, yikes. Or their crabs. Have you seen their crab migration?
No.
Go home. Look up the crab migration.
Yikes.
It's next level.
Okay.
Wow.
It's horrifying.
Okay.
I was like, you know what? I'll stay here.
It's like
Texas, thank you. Yeah, that one.
I guess that's internationally where I would like to go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think within the country, there are like different kind of like mountain ranges that I would love to go see, because I have like been to the beach, and I like been to like the city, like New York and stuff, but I haven't really been to like a real pretty like mountain and stayed in like
scenery.
have that kind of vacation. So I think I would like that, like to go somewhere maybe like up north that's like really pretty and has like snow on the hills and just like, you know, that kind of scene.
Well, this past winter I did a super huge road trip with my boyfriend. There's a shout out. But we drove through Vail. I don't know if you've heard of Vail, but they have the tallest mountains, and it just looks so beautiful in the snow. So maybe that's something you can check out.
Okay.
It's nice. A lot of people go there to do all the skiing and stuff. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Put that on the list.
I know. Right. What about you, Joan?
Internationally, Iceland.
Ooh, okay.
I want to go to Iceland so badly.
What draws you to Iceland?
Oh, it's my home country. I've been claiming it as my home country since like freshman year.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just really like Iceland. It's so pretty. There's only been one murder there. Like, can you imagine that? Like, one. That
peaceful.
Since it's been like one. Anyway, either that or people just go missing. But they have not had any missing people things. And it was over something. It was over something dumb. Over like who mowed like the lawn or something like that, or like someone stole someone's sheep. I feel like I've heard this story. It was crazy. Anyway, Iceland just seems really out there, and I kind of want to go and see what they're doing. You know, like, what's up, guys?
Where are all the people?
I'm pretty sure it's not like actually ice, but
no. Iceland's
like
all
the first
greenery.
Image that comes to my head.
Yeah, Iceland's all greenery. It's Greenland that's covered in ice.
I know,
but
why they do that?
That's ironic. Yeah.
You want the history lesson? You want to know why they did it?
Okay.
We got time.
Okay. So Iceland and Greenland were both founded by Vikings, coming from like Norway and all those areas in North Europe. And so when they got to Iceland, they realized that it was full of greenery and, you know, you could farm there and you could make a living there. So they named it Iceland so no one else would try to claim it. They named Greenland
so people can go there.
Yes, and it's covered in ice and their boats would get stuck or they'd freeze over. So they could basically take all the riches of Iceland for themselves. Wow. I know, look at them Vikings being tricky. Like, if you ever need a history lesson, let me know.
Joan's 23andMe has Viking blood in it.
I wish. That'd be cool. But I guess, like, on the country, I kind of want to see, like, Mount Rushmore. I don't know why. I've never seen Mount Rushmore. I've never been, like, north. I've been to New York and, like, Washington, D.C., but that's about it. Like, I haven't been to North Dakota or Illinois or Indiana. Yeah. So I kind of want to see what Mount Rushmore's doing.
That reminds me, Illinois. I want to go to Chicago. I've never been.
Ooh, girl, it's so nice.
My parents have gone. My parents have traveled a lot more than I have. They've gone to Chicago and they've been to Arizona. And where else?
Arizona's cool. No one's doing anything out there. It's just
desert.
Coyotes.
Literally, like, they're just all hanging out there, being chill. Same for New Mexico. Like, I've driven through New Mexico. I went to Carlsbad Caverns and a few of the national parks in New Mexico, and it's just like, alright, there's a city. Okay, now it's gone. You know, like,
that's what we're doing.
No wonder they have aliens here. Like, this is great.
No wonder they have aliens.
I mean, if I was trying to hide from people, I'd go to New Mexico. No one gonna find you out there. It's fine. It's great.
That's funny.
It's like Utah, but not.
It's like Utah.
But not, yeah.
I'm dead. Okay. And then, lastly, we have, what is something you would like to leave with our listeners?
Okay. Deep question again.
Some final words.
Question.
Yeah. I think just knowing the importance of self-discovery and how that can lead you to your true and authentic passions, and then following that, knowing that following that will lead everything to where it's supposed to be. And then never regret food. That is all.
Never regret food. I'm gonna put that on a poster.
Yes.
New poster for you?
Yes. Let's get it done.
Yes, I agree with that. I like that. All right. That's awesome.
So, you want to close us out?
It's my favorite thing to do.
Nice.
So, if you like this video, make sure to give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. We have new content come out every Monday. If you are not already, go ahead and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GroundFloorCo14. I'm Joan.
And I'm Reilly.
Thanks for listening.
Ooh.
Bye.